Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Chris just talked about 8 minus 7 does not equal 4, which is 8 is the income, 7 is the expenses, and 4 is your retirement. We went over 8. Some ways to potentially improve your income. Not by leaps and bounds. Remember, we're just trying to move the spectrum just a tiny bit to get closer to your number. Now let's dive into everyone's favorite that always gets talked about. The only way you're going to retire is reduce your expenses. Well, maybe not as much as you think because you're working on the other two pieces.
Correct. Yeah, it takes the pressure off the 7 if you increase the 8 a little and you decrease the 4 a little. But the 7 still is something that you have to work on. And if you're like me, I'd much rather work on the 8. Most people don't even talk about the 8.
That's me.
Yeah, that's us.
The 8 is ignored, and I think the 8 is the first place you should look.
Well,
How do we
Gino
make more
has
money?
to because he's not changing the 7.
Yeah, once we start talking about the 7, guys, I might get real quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. So the 7, the first thing that you need to do is you need a detailed listing of what your current expenses are. And so that is a lot of work. Most clients don't want to do that, but it's really important that you sit down and really understand what does your budget look like? What do household expenses look like? Where is our money going so that we have something to work with? And then once you have that and you can start analyzing it, you have to figure out where are we going to cut expenses out. And the problem is that everybody wants to go for that big ticket item. They want to get rid of it in one thing. And I think that's wrong because that's something that you're going to feel. And the whole point of this equation is to try and make this still work without completely changing your lifestyle. So examples are, I get the, Gino mentioned the Harley. Get rid of the Harley. Which,
yeah, that's a sore subject.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That never goes over well.
Not everybody owns a Harley, though. The one I hear a lot, actually, is the wife will look at the husband and say, how much do we spend on cable? And he's like, $250 a month. Well, let's get rid of cable. And he's like, Are you kidding me? It's the middle of football season. So
we're not getting rid of NFL ticket no
I
matter
will not,
what.
Oh, don't worry, hon. I will not be resentful every Sunday at all.
At all, right. Well, and then, the lashback is, well, you shop too much. You should buy less in shoes. And you have too many pairs of shoes. So and then the battle
And Chris sits
starts.
there and he goes, this is fun.
This is where I think I should have also majored in psychology so that I can help them deal with their marital issues. But no, the battle begins of where do we cut? And so I try and tell everybody, it's not about getting rid of the cable, because that's something everybody's going to feel. Your kids don't watch TV anymore. Your husband misses football. That's painful. Somebody's going to be resentful. That is going to put you in a shrink's office dealing with your marital problems, because now you're resentful that something important to you got cut out. The Harley, getting rid of the Harley could be something that's devastating. You've now lost your hobby or whatever you love to do. So it's a matter of analyzing them and trying to figure out where can we get rid of little pieces. So instead of saying let's get rid of cable completely, maybe it's let's get rid of the movie channels that nobody's watching. He still gets to watch Sunday football. Kids still get Nickelodeon, but we've gotten rid of some of the fluff. That Showtime channel that we kind of watch once in a while, but really we could probably get some movies on demand and probably spend less money over the
Redbox.
$1 at Redbox, yeah.
So thinking like that. Another area is to say, you've probably, if you've read any finance books, they always talk about the Starbucks effect, the Starbucks factor. Cut out your coffee, and everybody goes, well, I can't live without my coffee, and that's probably true. I'm the same way.
I have my coffee in the morning.
My caffeine in the morning, I have to have it.
And a little later, and a little later, and a little later.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's Starbucks is $4 for that coffee. That's ridiculous. So you can go to the store and buy a good organic bag of coffee and a good coffee maker and start making your own coffee and cut some of that cost out. And maybe not something that you is convenient, maybe not something you necessarily want to do, but when you're looking for places to cut, that's a very legitimate
Or
place to
there's
cut
a
some money.
tweener there. That's what I did for the other office for Valencia too, is I've got the Nespresso machine.
Yeah.
So it's $1.50. So it's still not cheap to make a cup of coffee, but it's not $4.
Right.
Well, and the other thing you might find with some of these adjustments, I mean, like you start making your coffee at home, you're like, hey, actually, this is pretty cool because I actually get to have coffee first thing in the morning. I have to wait till I'm dressed, ready to go, and all that. And you're saving tons of money, and you feel good about it. When you go and spend $4 for a coffee, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And not that I don't like Starbucks once in a while. I'm not trying to beat them up, but there's pieces, like you said, it's just fine tuning.
And now your coffee could be organic. The half and half creamer that you're using, you know where it came from. I mean, there's some benefits health benefits coming from a guy who is all about the nutrition side of things too. There's some health benefits that go along with it. So that's another area that you can focus on. Maybe you have a cleaning lady that comes to the house. Maybe she comes every other week, not once a week. You can start talking about things like washing your own car versus going to the car wash, and I can talk about the cardiovascular, nutrition, health benefits of
vitamin
getting
D being outside,
and actually washing your car. I think it's relaxing. I don't mind washing my car. Another one is cleaning your own pool. I mean, getting outside and cleaning your pool versus having and I feel sorry for all my pool cleaning friends out there, but it's an area that can be cut out and something that you can do
Sensei
yourself.
Chris, wax on, wax off.
Right. I mean, think about how much more prepared you'll be for the zombie apocalypse or whatever when you know how to defend yourself.
But Chris would have a 50-pound weight on the end of his net.
You wear a weight vest.
Exactly.
So
Chris, get out of the pool. You don't have to be in the pool to clean it.
Yeah. Eating out is a huge one.
Sure.
Let's eat out only on the weekends. We make lunches during the week, and it takes time and effort, and you have to think it through. But man, if you make those lunches and take them to work with you versus eating lunch out every day, saves a huge amount of money. So slowly, what does your auto insurance look like? Have it reviewed. See if you can cut out some costs there. We have some great people in APRG that can look at your auto insurance policy and say, maybe you have a little
Carlos
fluff. Maybe,
Villalobos helped me.
Maybe you could up your deductible or change some things and reduce some expenses.
Actually, we've helped a lot of people. It could be as simple as, because this is a great thing about working with APRG, America's Professional. You can go, hey, I'm looking at your mortgage. It looks like you may be paying too much interest, or maybe you can use your mortgage to reduce a ton of debt. We reduce people debt by hundreds of dollars, meaning we change their mortgage payment by maybe $0 or $100 and something per month and eliminate $800 worth of debt that they now can put in towards a retirement.
Right, and that's a huge area. I focus on that too in the financial planning.
Yeah, you send people to us.
Yeah, what does your mortgage look like, and what can we do with that to try and eliminate debt and other things that are costing you money? So it's the main point is set a goal. It's $500 a month we're trying to reduce from our expenses. Where can we get 20 here, 50 there, 100 here, and slowly piecemeal to that goal of whatever you've set is as far as reducing. And then maybe you reduce it once and then reduce it again a little bit later once you're comfortable.
I love how you're enlightening
I can tell you that when my income went to $0, that's exactly what happened. I had to reduce 7. I reduced all the big stuff as much as I could. And then after that, I was like, oh, I guess I got to go further, right? And then you start throwing other things that you thought were important became less important. You were able to get rid of those too.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Good stuff, Chris. Again, we're here with Chris Ingram with Ingram Financial Solutions, helping guide you to retirement with this great 8 - 7 = 4 solution that Chris is sharing with us. So don't go away. We've already talked about income, how to potentially change the number of your income status, how to potentially reduce some expenses, and now we're going to talk about how do we hit that magic number that we all need to retire. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, don't go away.